G'day guys, welcome back to the Wildcard Rugby Show. My name is Wildcard, and yes, Six Nations Round 3 2024. And yeah, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I actually enjoy watching Wales play rugby, and they're coming to Australia in July. Oh no, it's not looking good. I'm concerned. Warren Gatland is prepping this new group of young Welsh players to really play some tough rugby. I mean, this Welsh team took an absolute pounding this game, and I do not know how they only got, walked away. Ireland, only walked away with 4 tries. Wales was in the receiving end for a huge part of this game, and it was just brutal. Like, brutal, physical, just forwards, big centers, right at your face. Eventually, right at the end, right, it was literally the Welsh team were just all exhausted. Everybody was absolutely exhausted. And then, yeah, Ireland finally gone over for the bonus point try to win the game, to finish the game. But man, this Welsh team just never relented for the entire game. Hung in there. Like, a lot of things weren't working for the Welsh, to be honest. The scrum was a bit of a one-sided affair for Andrew Porter, absorbing tackle, Mr. Absorbing Tackle, right? And then there was the line-outs, once again, was a bit shaky for the Welsh. The Maul defense was just absolutely brutal from the Irish. The Wales did do their Mauls as well. Not nearly as effective, but was able to squeeze out a penalty try, which I think the Welsh boys will be pretty happy about that. And yeah, and just like always, just like what we saw in the first 2 rounds, no penalty kicks. Yeah, no penalty kicks. Wales came out to play rugby. There was a point where they were, in a position where, logically speaking, if they wanted to really, mathematically put them in the best chance to win the game, they probably should have taken the penalty kick when there were 7 points down. There were 17 points to 7 down, and they had a penalty. They had yellow card. Ireland had a yellow card in the bin, where you really felt that the Welsh should have just taken the 3, because then the gap would be 7 point, and you're still playing against a yellow card. You could probably close that to a 7 point to 17 draw at some point in the game. But no, the Welsh went for it. They did not get the result they were looking, the try they were looking for. But it's the guts, it's the mentality, it's the mental fortitude that Warren Gatland is instilling into this Welsh team. That is really going to make the difference going into the next 4 years, going to the Rugby World Cup. And I'm just really concerned that this Welsh team is going to come to Australia in July. And if the Wallabies want to come out in a July Test series thinking they can just squeeze out a win by kicking 3 points, I really think that the Welsh is gonna has a really good chance of winning the series coming to Australia. With that being said, the Irish was just absolutely brutal. At the start, it was looking like the Welsh was actually giving Ireland a good run for the money. The Ireland looked a little bit like disorganized. Once again, it kind of made you feel like, oh, is Ireland just going back to that problem they had before, where they don't have Johnny Sexton, and they're just, not really sure what they wanted to do. Everybody looked a bit lost and looking for someone to lead the team. And then they kind of slowly kicked into gear, and I really felt the Irish forwards, Ty Byrne, man, Ty Byrne was absolutely superhuman. He did get yellow carded. He came back, and I'm pretty sure he did the exact same infringement when he changed mind to save a try for Ireland, where the referee did not go for it, did not issue another penalty against him. And then to finish the game to get a bonus point try. Right at 80-minute mark, he played the full 80 minutes. I guess he had to play for 70 minutes because he had a 10-minute break. But man, right at the end, just completely sheer strength and power, rumbled himself over for the try to get a bonus point for Ireland. Was absolutely tremendous effort. And yeah, it was just really brutal for the Welsh to be on the receiving end of that. But overall, I thought the Welsh was probably, definitely building towards something that is good to be looking forward to. And I really, losing a game like this, where you're absolutely throwing everything at it. And one other thing as well, a lot of teams tend to do this, and this is something that I think that Warren Gatland is just really drilling into the team. This is a really massive positive of the Wales, is that a lot of teams, they have their performances goes kind of like this. Like, if you they peak, they go to cycles. Every team pretty much every team does this. where they would, like, go into like a peak where they're really, really good, everybody's on point, and then they score a try or score some points, and then they would just drop down, and the opposition will catch up, and then they kind of like this. England's probably the most typical of this performance, and then they will get back into the rhythm and try to get a massive burst of energy, and they go through these cycles. Wales did not have that cycle, at least not like a really big ones. They're pretty consistent the whole game, despite on the receiving end of it. Sometimes teams could just be like, oh, we're under the hammer, we're gonna let in a couple tries and then kind of like regroup. No, the Welsh was pretty was consistent. Same with the Irish, I guess could be said about that. Very consistent for the entire game. No major noticeable drop-offs where they're just like letting soft tries. The Wales defense was just getting hammered the whole game, and nobody like relented. I guess all the way till right at the end, where people were just absolutely exhausted to finally let that final try in at 80th minute. But yeah, that is also one thing that is really, really important. A lot of teams struggles to keep that consistency, especially with such a brutal, punishing game. You're just gonna players just fall off. After getting hit so hard, they fall off, and then you just concede more points, and then you try to finish the game. We've seen this a lot. Like finish the game strong, like Italy versus All Blacks. Team just completely fall asleep for like 80 minutes, and then try to score consolation try at the end. No, the Welsh went all the way to the end. I think which can be really, really, like the players and the fans can be really proud of. I think the Welsh fans will be very proud of that performance. Despite this, regardless of the score and everything, this was just absolute, very, very, very extremely positive performance from the Welsh team. Like I said, Italy giving up the game, scoring consolation try to pat themselves to make themselves feel better. That is something I absolutely despise. And this Welsh team did not do anything like that. They went all the way to the end, toe to toe, until the bell rang at the end. 4 tries to 1. This is not 2-1 because it was a penalty try. Website glitches says it's 2. 525 run meters for the Ireland. 288, like almost double the run meters, I guess. And it's just like absolutely brutal. The Welsh were just on the receiving end. I hesitated to see how many tackles they made. 10 turnovers conceded against Ireland, 7 against the Welsh. 192 tackles for the Wales. That's actually a lot better. This is actually updated. That's actually a lot better than I was expecting. 192 tackles made for Wales, 190 for Ireland. 33 missed tackles for the Welsh, 115 for Ireland. Kicks in play. Both teams weren't really that crazy about the kicking game. Ireland just about brutality, jamming that, big centers and big forwards, big locks at you and try to generate quick balls and then try to, stretch you stretch you out once, all the defenders get sucked in. Was quite basic stuff. The Welsh as well just did the kicking that is required. Nothing too fancy, a few high balls here and there. Nothing that's extremely crazy. Lineouts, the Welsh lineout massively improved. Is considering they lost 50% of the lineout. Like in the first half, in the first round, they only lost 2 against a very, very strong Ireland lineout. Ireland actually spoiled a couple of their own lineouts too. So there was definitely a big improvement. But the scrummaging was a massive issue for Welsh. 2 scrum lost. Not to mention that the scrums that Ireland just had dominance over Wales when it's on their own feet. There was a number of penalties against Wales because of the scrummaging. And Andrew Porter was just absolutely getting underneath the tight head pro from the Welsh side. And there was very, very little reprieve for the Welsh team. They were just happy that the ball was out and they can finally let go a sigh of relief sort of thing. It was really brutal to watch the scrummaging. Discipline. Wales has been getting pretty good discipline this game, as always. Despite the fact that it says that they considered 12 penalties, I think there was probably like 3 or 4 of those were just scrum penalties, to be too frank. And then so overall, the discipline actually goes to Wales. Something we saw that in the first 2 rounds as well. Like Warren Gatland really drilled down the key areas for the Welsh team. Discipline, just hammering down the tackles. The breakdown was really, really bad for the Welsh, though. That was probably the worst part of everything that the Welsh did this week. They were not securing their own breakdowns. They were giving away penalties while contesting breakdowns, and overall they're just not really contesting breakdowns. So they're happy. They look like they're pretty happy to just make those tackles and not really, forcing themselves into those breakdowns. And also, one other thing I'll mention is handling errors was just, yeah, again, at this level, you really shouldn't be handling errors. Like, you know, if you're playing international test matches in the tier 1 level, they really shouldn't be handling errors, especially like unforced handling errors, like you're just passing the ball between your teammates, and you really shouldn't be dropping those. Wiles has dropped a few this game, and something that needs to be improved. If there was a defender in front of you or under pressure, and you drop the ball or whatnot, that's kind of like force error. But just, you know, when you're really not under any pressure to drop the ball, like frequently, not just like once or twice, but frequently, I think that's probably a bit undesired. 2 yellow cards against the Irish. Again, those 2 yellow cards are all just because of Welsh pressure causing repeated penalties and causing the referee to, you know, forcing the referee's hand, essentially. There was one against Highburn where the Welsh did like give away the penalty try. Again, like I said, if they just taken the 3 points, that yellow card would never have happened. They forced, you know, Ireland's hand, and Highburn changed his mind to stop a try at a more, got himself sent off. And then there was another one against James Ryan as well, repeated penalties. Just Welsh unrelenting pressure, not going for those 3 points, not going for the soft options, and getting themselves getting themselves those hard-earned yellow cards. But yeah, in the end, it was just still not enough. Still quite a lot of lack of polish in comparison to what the Irish had to show this game. Overall, before we get onto the recap, I felt that the performance from the Irish was definitely probably around a 7.5 maybe. I've definitely seen a better performance by Irish. You know, they definitely was a little bit clunky early in the game, but again, really polished play and just unrelenting attack, leading to the 4 try win. Just brute force themselves into the win. So I think that was probably a 7.5 performance from the Irish. For the Welsh, I think I would give them like a 6, maybe 6.5. Despite, you know, losing, I thought they really put on a big shift, big effort. And, you know, if you know, there was literally points where you felt like maybe the comeback could happen. Maybe if Ireland fall into one of those, you know, slumps in their, you know, performance cycle, the Welsh could take in the lead at some point. But the Irish never really fall into that. Stay consistent, stay resilient. Both teams were extremely resilient. Yeah, 6 for Wales, 7.5 for Ireland. I think overall this match is probably about a 7. And yeah, this was a very entertaining match overall. And yeah, let me know your thoughts about that match rating. So yeah, let's talk about what happened in the game. Some of the key moments of the match. 6 minutes into the game, Ireland decides to take 3 points. Crowley kicked this one. Wales gets penalised for not releasing. When it comes to Test rugby, I'm pretty happy for teams to take 3 points whenever it's available, because it is Test rugby, you win at all costs. And Ireland has that, has only gone back when even Johnny Sexton was in play, has that, like, you know, that early 3 points to just being like on the front foot. Like, Ireland really like that mentality of just being in the front foot, getting that first 3 points on the ball, and then they'll stop taking 3 points. You know, they just like to have that 3 points on the ball to give themselves some confidence, to like kind of tick the box off of like, oh, hey, we've scored some points, and then just go from that to like not taking 3 points going forward. We saw this even at the World Cup. A lot of people criticize Ireland losing to the All Blacks because they didn't take all the 3 points on offer. But that's just the way Ireland play. They take the 3 points at the beginning, and then they just kind of never taking 3 points again, or like very rarely taking 3 points again after that. So this is just, yeah, like a pretty standard procedure for Ireland. I don't really have issue with that. 3 points to 0. Again, I felt like the commentary was a little bit misleading at points. Some points, there was a turnover earned by Andrew Porter 8 minutes into the game, where the commentary was saying that Andrew Porter's hands were on the ground and therefore there should have been a penalty going for Wales, which I disagree, because the technical law actually doesn't say hands on the ground is a penalty. It just says must support your own weight. So putting your hands on the ground technically doesn't mean you're not supporting your own weight. You can support your own weight with your hands on the ground. Like, there's nothing saying that putting hand on the ground is not supporting your own weight, right? Like, in fact, there's no actual definitions of like, I guess if you can't be on your knees, right? But like, there's nothing says that if your hand is on the ground, you're not supporting your own weight. So the typically what the referee actually look for is overextension. So you can't put your hands past the ball and then drag your hands back onto the ball. And for two reasons. Obviously, one reason is you're overextending your body. You're definitely like you're not controlling your own weight in that situation. And number two, when you do that, you're overextending. You put your hand past the ball and getting dragged back onto the ball. You're actually creating an unfair contest for the opposition to clean you off. So you're actually putting yourself in a position that's like unrealistic for the opposition. Like, it's like impossible for the opposition to clean you out because you're past the ball, and if they try to clean you out, you'll rip the ball out. So like, it's actually an unrealistic position. It's like unfair contest essentially. So that's kind of actually the two things that the referee is looking for. Where Andrew Porter he had his hands on the ball, and then he obviously having the ball on the ground, putting hand on the ball, you're actually gonna touch the ground with your hand, which is what Andrew Porter was doing, which is completely fine because he still has his upper body completely in position to allow a fair contest to clean him out, and he was not overextending, which means that he was completely legal in this jackal, despite the fact that his hands were on the ground. The referee the commentary was completely wrong in this when they said that Porter's hands were on the ground, therefore it should have been a penalty, which was completely incorrect. So I hope that gets cleared up for a lot of you guys, and I hope they clear it up in commentary in future presentations. Anyway, it took 20 minutes for Ireland to finally get some forward momentum. Like, they were just running to brick wall for about 20 minutes, and finally Ireland was able to get into a good position following a massive scrum penalty from Andrew Porter. It looked like he balled in a little bit, but the referee let him go. So Ireland had an opportunity to take another 3 points. They said no. They go for the line out. They go for the maul. The maul kind of like stopped multiple times. And then Ireland, I thought the referee could have called to use it because it looked like the maul stopped multiple times. And eventually Irish, like pretty much half the backline joined in to finally push the maul over for the try. Which I thought that probably the referee could have called a stoppage, especially when if the backs has to come in to keep the maul going forward. I really felt like the referee should have called the Irish to use that. But it is what it is. The ball went over, and there was also a little bit of question about this, whether the ball was grounded. It looked like the ball was held, like, not off the ground for the game. How they actually go back, the ball did initially touch the ground as it was going down, but then it was kind of like rolled up off the ground. So it was actually like it did look like the ball was held up, but there was a very brief moment where it was over try. But the referee's on-field decision was a try, so there was no reason to check this anyway. But yeah, on one of the replays, it just looked like the ball was held up, but no, it was actually a try. And then the game played on a little bit. Again, just absolute pounding for both teams. 31 minutes into the game, Ireland gets a second try. Again, there was a scrum. This Ireland scrum was putting a lot of penalty pressure onto the Welsh. Eventually, they got a steady scrum, and Ireland just one pass crash, and then from one side of the field all the way to the other side, and then they went from all the way from the other side, come back to the blind side again, and then the Wales did give away the penalty advantage here, and then Ireland just happy to throw the ball wide. James Lowe got the ball. Got the pop over pass from Calvin Nash to go into the corner. 17 points to nil. Wales had really, really good defense, but yeah, it was just not enough to stop the onslaught. Like the Ireland were just going to run at them all day, and that was just, yeah. And then the penalty advantage was enough to give away the try. 35 minutes into the game, Wales had an opportunity to take 3 points, and no, they are going to make sure that they don't play the same style as England. And they went for the line out. They get another penalty. Again, they go for another line out, and then they go for the crash balls, and then eventually the breakdown was not clinical enough. It was a bit of a disaster. The breakdown was a bit of a disaster for the whole game for Wales. They got turned over just before the try line. 38 minutes into the game, Wales got another penalty. They go for quick tap this time. This was a this was again, the quick tap was good, but then like once again, Andrew Porter gets the turnover at the breakdown. Just you know, really not like the Welsh really not protecting that ball well, and then that was pretty much the last opportunity the Wales had before halftime. 17 points to nil was the score at halftime, so it wasn't out of it. The Welsh came out of the second half. Immediately, Wales continued that onslaught to try to fight themselves back. They got a penalty, went for the 5-meter line out. They went for the more, really close for the more, and it looked like it was gonna be a no try. The referee, Carl Dixon, on the sideline came in and said there was changing bind for Ty Burn, and then the TMO looked at it. He did change his bind to get himself latched onto the ball, and then the referee said penalty try, yellow card. Yeah, so that was a massive turning point. 53 minutes into the game, Wales had another opportunity to take 3. No, they went for the try. Despite having a play in the bin, even the commentary is like, oh, maybe they should take the 3. The Welsh goes, no, they're taking 3 points. It's not in our system, not in our DNA anymore. We no longer have, you know, it's no longer the Dan Bigger era. We're going to just go for those tries. They, again, got turned over at the breakdown, lost the opportunity for that try. A few moments later, around the 60-meter mark, it looked like Bundy Aki had scored for Ireland. They again, just pounding the Welsh try line with their big forwards. And then ball went out wide. Bundy Aki, centre field, massive guy, one-on-one. No one was going to stop in that. He had like 2 Welsh players hanging onto him. Still went over the try line. Luckily for Wales, that try was declined. There was I think it was a forward pass leading into this, so they got out of the jail for that one. 65 minutes, Ireland get their 3rd try into the game. Again, Ireland got the penalty. They're not gonna, you know, despite only 17 points to 7 up, you figure they might just take 3 points and go home happy, feeling confident, feeling safe. No, Ireland went out. We're gonna you know, we're gonna go for the try. As they went for the try, they went for the line out. They just you know, just like short ball, crash ball. I don't know how to say. Eventually, Frawley crashed over. He like did a nice little step infield, and a few Welsh players were drifting out too quickly, and he went straight under the post. 24 points to 7, 65 minutes, and finally there was 75 minutes into the game. There was a yellow card against James Ryan. Wales was just fighting back. Again, penalties against Ireland, repeated penalties against Ireland. Wales is not taking 3, going for the try, trying to get that, losing bonus point, I guess, at this point. And they did get a result of forcing James Ryan off the field, but that was still not enough. Ireland, with only 14 players on the field, just kept on coming, and Wales was just going towards the 80th minute. The Wales was just completely out of their feet. Ireland basically ran this like last try 16 phases, and this probably went like almost probably 45, 50 meters. It was a very big phase building towards the Welsh try line, and eventually Ty Burn redeemed his yellow card. 10 minutes in the bin. I guess the break really helped him. Runs himself through a couple of Wales, like extremely tired Wales players, and went in for the try. And yeah, Wales had a lot of their chances to score tries. They had that chance to stifle at the breakdown again and again and again. And that's something that needs to be fixed. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know your score for this match. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later for the England game. Unless it's extremely bad, then I guess that won't happen. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys a bit later. Cheers.